We're 0-7. This is probably the first good game besides the Denver game that we've really seen this team fight, but they couldn't sustain it in the second half. Now, are they really trying to fight hard for the coaching staff, or guys out there just trying to put together some solid tape, or do you think there's something else going on here that we should know about?
First of all, I think that they're putting in a big effort every week. These are professionals. And by the way, we're not in week 14. We are in the first piece of the season. We're just ending the first piece of the season. You know, if you look at a 16-game season, if they play a 16-game season, and each and every week as we move forward, I'm getting more comfortable with the idea that they will have a 16-game season, but that's not guaranteed. There's no guarantee the NFL plays a 16-game season. And not to get off on a tangent, it's my position that if they get to 12, they could stop right there and make playoffs. They could do it because 12 is a number that works for playoffs. That's why. A 10's okay, 12 is better. If the pandemic grows and there's more infections among the players or coaches or staff. So that's one thing. As far as the Jets are concerned, this is what I'm hearing. Okay. And please, I want everyone to please take whatever I tell you with a grain of salt. I am a mega fan. I am not connected to the organization. Somebody once asked me about that. And although I knew people there, I am not connected there. But I do hear things. And this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Adam Gase is going to be the head coach of the Jets in 2021. And I'm hearing that that's certainly going to happen, even if they go 0-16. And the reason why is twofold. Number one, and this is the reason I was given, that the executives inside the team, which includes, of course, Mr. Johnson and brother, they feel that Gase hasn't had a real shot with a full roster. This has been repeated several times already. You could start believing it. That's what they think. Number two, the reality to their situation is they're still paying Bowles. They are paying him real money. They gave Gase a multi-year deal for a big sum of money for a coach, especially for him. There is no way they're going to start going out and getting a name coach that might cost them $10 million a year. The New York Jets are not ever going to pay a coach $10 million to coach this franchise. Never. Especially when they have two coaches they're paying right now. So my opinion is that Gase, in a sense, is overseeing the program. That's why he gave up the ability to call the plays today. Why would he do that? I mean, I just think that he's in a position where it's a very difficult spot. I think he has the total support of ownership. JD cannot fire him. Joe Douglas cannot fire Gase. Gase does not report to him. Gase reports to the owner. That is the hierarchy of the New York Jets. So if you understand all of this, it is an enormous crap sandwich. There's no question about it. But I just don't foresee it. And every fan out there, including me, you could stand on your head and say how he should be fired and complain about these things. I believe you'll see him next year. No matter what people say about their season tickets, no matter what they say about that they're giving up the NFL and the Jets, no matter a couple of knuckleheads went out there, started rooting for the Bills, kapooey on them, go root for the Bills. Give me a break. That is the stupidest thing ever. So it would not surprise me if you see Gase here again next season.
Wow.
Again, I know that sounds awful, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. What are they doing? You know what? They're showcasing their players. They're still trying to make trades. They're still trying to build more offers so they can get more and more draft picks. They are going to have an enormous 2 years of draft here that is going to set us forth for a decade. And you know something, I'm not getting any younger. So I'm hoping and praying that they can get that done. As far as Joe Douglas is concerned, I don't know about you, but you've seen the rookies play today, and they did shine today, shed some light on Joe Douglas in a positive way. Finally, because he takes a lot of hits from Jet fans. A lot of Jet fans wanted Douglas to come out and have a press conference. Have you been reading about this? Where is JD? How come he's not talking to the fans?
Yes, there
Well,
was something I actually mentioned on a couple of shows ago that I really wish that Joe Douglas would come out and address the public as to the state of the franchise. But I
well,
think
if I
if
could just.
anything, they'll probably do that around the bye week because that's normally what
Oh,
they do.
well, that's what the New York Jets do. Once again, this is the New York Jets. They have a certain way of running their business. If you'll notice, no matter who the coach is, that's how they run. And by the way, I hear someone out there saying, "Yeah, they run their business like crap." I understand what you're saying. I
That's
get it,
exactly what
but they do have a method, an executive method that they stick to. Like they don't talk about trades in the offseason and all of these things. We don't talk about contracts. Never. They don't have the general manager come out and make press conferences. No. The Johnsons don't want him to do it. He will have his presser during the bye week, and I believe that's the week of November 10th, if I remember correctly.
Right, I think
And I'm like on a high wire here. I'm working without notes today. It's not bad. So November 10th, that week, Joe Douglas, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day Gase usually talks to people, that's the day that he's going to talk. And he's going to be the only one talking, by the way. No Gase, no Johnson, just him. And that's who you're going to get because that's the New York Jets way. That's what they do. Be very interesting to see what he has to say, right?
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to hear what he has to say because with the Jets being over right now, and it seems like the team is regressing as opposed to progressing. We're not seeing a lot of tight games like we saw today. If we probably had seen, more tight, a more tight setting, I think that fans would probably. I don't want to say like they'll embrace losing because I don't think as this franchise we should ever embrace losing. I think as this franchise we should always strive to be the best team in the AFC. We should always strive to be the best team in the AFC East. And it just seems like that there are opportunities after opportunities that the Jets either cannot take advantage of, or we just have the wrong people in here pushing the buttons. So I'm hoping that, believe it or not, one, I hope you're wrong. I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that at the end of the day.
By the way, I need to interject this so you make sure you quote it right later.
Okay.
This is not opinion I'm giving, not opinion. This is information that I've been given, and my opinion is driven by the information only. That's right. It. If it was up to me, I would hope they'd go out there and look for the best three candidates, pick one, and rebuild the damn thing. But what I'm saying is, this is the information that I'm hearing. And by the way, it's not much different than I've been tweeting about and writing about and talking about for months. I've been saying this. Gase is not going anywhere. What's the point of firing Gase now anyway? What's the point of that? We're gonna give red meat to the fans? That's not the way these organizations work at all. I'm going to say again, people are saying they're not going to renew their season tickets. Can I tell you that they're not worried about that? They're not. They're sitting with an empty stadium right now. Empty. Okay? That is not what it's about for them at all. I think they recognize that they have a real, is this a PG-13 show?
Listen, this could be R-rated at some time.
They know that because I used to do this, so I'm careful what I say. This is a legitimate shit show going on over there, and they know it. They know it. They can't stand this. They don't want this. It's an embarrassment. They get that. But, the Jets are always a team in the league, as far as the NFL is concerned. The league wants the Jets to be successful. They're the New York team, one of the two New York teams. They want the Jets to be successful. But unfortunately, they've had a set of circumstances that they've brought upon themselves.
Oh, yeah.
and again, there's no reason why not to think that Joe Douglas is not the perfect guy, the right guy, a good guy to have in this position to get it done. And no, Peyton Manning didn't curse us and whisper in people's ears and all this stuff, okay? They might have had something to say, but that's what it is. I know you don't feel this way. I know a lot of people feel they'd like to have him fired right now, but
Well,
they
at this
have
point, I mean, I would have liked to. I think personally, the right time to fire Adam Gase would have been right after the Denver game, because I think that whoever it was that you would have had as your interim would have had 10 days to prepare. I think that Sam Darnold could have benefited from a different voice in his ear. We saw that Sam Darnold did actually have a different voice in his ear today, and it benefited him for 30 minutes of football. So we need to see more from that. So
yeah,
whether
but not during the week.
right.
But not during the week, not during the prep. It was the guy who called the plays. I'm not trying to minimize what the guy did, but he works there next to Gase. He knows what Gase is going to call. The greatest play that he called was in the first half, was the 3rd and 18.
Yes.
Okay, and I was sitting with my son. I said 3rd and 18. The Jets will probably call a draw. I said no. We need to sling it down the field here. Let's go. That was what I said. Let's go. And they happened. Sam delivered a beautiful pass.
Yeah, he did.
An equally great catch. Again, my hat's off. There it is. My hat's off for the play call. Fantastic. It's one among many. In sports, people don't like this either. In sports, that particular call is just as important as a play was called in the 3rd quarter. Just as equal. Some are successful, some are not. At the end, the aggregate is how it's done. And then, of course, it's a chess game, usually in the last 10 minutes, 8 minutes of a game, possessions and such, and take chances and such. I mean, that's football. By the way, this should be a tell for everyone. If the Jets didn't fire Gase after the Denver game, why would you think they'd fire him now?
I personally think that
there's no answer for that.
And I've actually said this. I actually said this when I appeared on the Thomas Take podcast earlier today, that I think that Adam Gase probably gives the Jets the best chance to go 0-16. That firing him now is completely pointless.
I would agree with that 100%. 100% agree. Yes.
There's also the flip side where I kind of look at it from Joe Douglas's perspective and saying that, if this is truly going to be an evaluation year and we want to see if Sam Darnold is going to be the future of this franchise, and we see that he's struggling under Gase and he's actually taking steps backwards instead of forwards, so it would benefit to have a different voice, to have a different leadership, and maybe Gase should be shown the door. But
let me ask you. I'm going to again. You could be the advocate for the fan base for the moment, okay? And I'm just going to throw one at you because your knowledge of football is equal to mine. It's fine. We were the same in this regard. When Sam goes back in the pocket, looks to the right, has the ball ready, looks to the left real quick, and it goes back for a third look with 5 defensive linemen within an arm length of him, whose fault is that?
Yeah, it's definitely on Sam.
Is that Gase?
No, that's not Gase. That's definitely on Sam because he has to be more decisive with his decision making with the ball.
Okay.
So I think though the only caveat to that is this, Lonnie, is that if you go and take a look at the offensive coordinators that have been surrounded by Sam Darnold, we had Jeremy Bates, who was up in a mountain for 5 years. Okay. And you had Adam Gase / Darryl Loggins. And really the only quarterbacks coach that he actually had was Josh McCown. So how much of it is Sam not really understanding it, and how much of it is him not getting the coaching?
I got to disagree with that. Only respectfully, I have to disagree with that because all I'm hearing is during the week what he's doing. Okay, unless again, is Gase just lying about Sam during the week? And again, being devil's advocate, is he lying what Sam's doing during the week? Is he lying that the team had good practices during the week? And then when Sam gets in the game, and again, he's been off for two games, and he always seems to have a pile of excuses associated with him. It's unfortunate, but true. You can look back at it. It's true. He seems to make a lot of bad errors for a third-year player in the NFL. I don't care how old you are now, because he's a man, okay?
Yeah, I agree.
And we are in a critical moment in our team history of what we're going to do about this position.